The most dangerous thing you can do when you wake up is think, "Greetings, my name is Ted." And yes, you heard me correctly. That first conscious moment of your day, that sliver of time between the world of dreams and the world of demands, it holds a power we have almost completely forgotten. And the greatest danger in that moment is to immediately surrender it to the noise, to the to-do list, to the worries that were waiting for you on the nightstand, to the frantic planning that so often passes for living. But what if there was another way, a simpler way, a way that doesn't add anything to your morning routine, but instead establishes a foundation, a piece upon which the entire day can be built? I want you to think about how you woke up this morning. Be honest with yourself. Did your eyes snap, open to the blare of an alarm, your heart already thumping with a vague sense of being behind? Did the thoughts immediately start to swarm? I have that appointment at 10. I need to call the pharmacy. What was that thing my daughter said yesterday that bothered me? Did I pay that bill? Does that feel familiar? That feeling of your mind being like a snow globe that's been violently shaken before you've even sat up? All the little particles of stress and obligation swirling in a chaotic storm. You haven't even taken a proper breath, and you're already caught in a blizzard. For many of us, especially as we gather more years, this isn't just a morning habit, it's our baseline reality. We wake up tired, we live tired, and we go to bed even more so. There's a simple scientific reason for this. Your body, and it's ancient. Wisdom has two primary operating systems. One is for emergencies, the fight or flight response. It floods you with adrenaline and cortisol, tenses your muscles, and quickens your heart. It's designed to help you escape a predator. The other system is for peace, the rest and digest response. It slows the heart, deepens the breath, and signals to every cell in your body that you are safe. When your first conscious act is to dive headfirst into that mental blizzard of worries, which system do you think you're turning on? You are telling your body from a state of complete stillness that a predator is chasing you, and you wonder why you feel anxious before your feet even touch the floor. The ancient texts, from the yogic traditions of the East to the contemplative practices of our own Western mystics, all understood this. They didn't have the language of parasympathetic nervous systems, but they had a much more beautiful word for it. They called it prana, or ki, the life force, the vital energy of the universe. And they knew that the ki, the master, remote control for this energy was the breath dot, so here is the practice. It is the very first thing. It comes before checking your phone. It comes before the first sip of water. It comes before you swing your legs out of bed. It is the ritual that reclaims your morning dot tomorrow, when you first become aware that you are awake. Resist the urge to move or think. Just lie there. You are in a sacred space, a temple. Your body dot now. Place a hand on your belly. Don't think about it, just feel. And begin to draw in a breath through your nose. But don't just breathe into your chest. Imagine you are sending that breath all the way down, deep into your belly, so deep that you can feel your hand gently rise. Let it be slow, a silent count. To 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your lungs expand, feel your ribs widen. Now, hold it. Just for a moment. Not a tense, strained hold, but a peaceful pause. In this stillness, you are holding the life force within you. You are a full dot, and now, just as slowly, release the breath through your mouth or nose. Let your belly fall. Let your shoulders soften. Let the tension you didn't even know you were holding dissolve into the mattress. Release it all to a count of 5 or 6. Make the exhale just a little bit longer than the inhale. This is the body's secret signal for safety. Do this 3 times or 5 times. The number isn't the point. The awareness is. I remember a gentleman I spoke with once, a man named Frank. He'd been a high-powered executive his whole life. Retirement, for him, felt like a failure. He would wake up every single morning with his heart pounding, his mind already churning through phantom spreadsheets and old business rivals. He told me, "Mark, I feel like I'm running a race from the moment I wake up, but I don't even know where the finish line is anymore." I shared this simple practice with him. He was skeptical, of course, too simple, too woo-woo for a man of his background, but he was also desperate. A week later, he called me. He said, "For the first time in 30 years, I woke up and I just was. I wasn't a retired executive. I wasn't a worrier. I was just a man in a bed, breathing. The thoughts were still there, but they were over there. They weren't in. That's the secret. This practice doesn't eliminate your thoughts. It creates a space between you and your thoughts. You become the calm center of the snow globe, the watcher, allowing the snowflakes to swirl, but no longer being lost within them. You are reminding your soul that it is the master of the vessel, not a helpless passenger on a runaway train of thought. You are establishing a rhythm of peace before all else. By choosing the peace gear first, you set the tone for everything that follows. The water you drink will taste better. The movements you make will be more graceful. The nourishment you take will be better received. You are starting your day from a place of fullness, not from a place of deficit. Imagine walking to your window after doing this. You don't just see the morning light, you feel it. You don't just hear the birds, you become part of their song. You are present, and that presence, that quiet, steady calm, is the greatest source of strength you will ever possess. It is your armor against the chaos of the world. So I invite you, not to a challenge, not to a chore, but to a gift. Give yourself the gift of your own first breath tomorrow. Don't just let it happen. Consciously receive it. Because in that single intentional act, you declare that your peace is more important than your problems. And that declaration can and will change not just your morning, but the entire landscape of your life. In our last conversation, we found our anchor in the quiet stillness of the morning. We learned to greet the day not with a frantic rush of thought, but with the sacred rhythm of our own breath. You have claimed that first moment, establishing a center of peace before the world could impose its chaos. So now you are present, you are calm, your spirit is awake. The question that follows is, what is the very first gift you will offer your body? It's a curious thing. We can sleep for 8 hours and we call it rest. We feel our minds have recharged, but inside our bodies a silent struggle has been taking place. All night long, with every quiet exhale, with the gentle perspiration on your skin, you have been losing water. You awaken in a state of quiet drought. Your body, this incredible, faithful vessel, is thirsty on a cellular level. And yet, what is the first thing we are trained to do? We stumble to the kitchen and reach for the coffee maker. Have you ever stopped to truly think about that? We take a body that is parched and give it a diuretic something that makes it lose even more. Water. Imagine a beautiful river. Overnight, without any new rain, the river's flow has become slow, thick, and sluggish. It's struggling to move the silt and stones along its bed. Then, at dawn, instead of adding fresh, clear water, we put in a substance that actually draws more water out of the river. How would that river flow? That river, my friend, is your blood. That sluggishness is your circulation in the first hour of the day. When you're dehydrated, your blood literally becomes thicker, and your heart, your magnificent, tireless heart, has to pump with much more force to push that thicker fluid through. The 60,000 miles of vessels in your body. It's like trying to push warm honey through a tiny straw instead of water. This is not some New Age theory. It's simple physical fact. And it is why, tragically, heart attacks and strokes are most common in these early morning hours, especially for those of us with a few more years of life behind us. We are unknowingly putting the engine under incredible strain just as the day begins. That morning fog you might feel, that touch of dizziness when you stand up, that isn't just age. It is often your body and your brain crying out for simple hydration. The remedy is as ancient as it is profound. It is this: the moment you rise after your conscious breath, before the coffee, before the food, you give your body one glass of water. But there are two small secrets to this that transform it from a simple drink into a true act of healing. First, the water should be room temperature, or even slightly warm. Why? Imagine coming in from the cold and someone hands you a block of ice. Your whole body clenches. Cold causes constriction. In these first precious moments, your body, your blood vessels, your digestive system, they all need to open, to relax, to flow. Cold water is a shock, a jolt to the system. Warm water is a gentle embrace. It's a welcome. It says it's all right. You can wake up slowly. The second secret is this little slice of sunshine, a squeeze of lemon. Not for some magical overnight weight loss promise, but for two very practical reasons. The lemon provides compounds that gently support your liver, the organ that has been working all night long to filter and process the toxins from the day before. This water is like a gentle rinse for that hard-working system. And second, the lemon provides electrolytes like potassium, which your body needs for proper fluid balance and heart function. It's nature's own sports drink, without any of the sugar or artificial colors. I remember speaking with a retired nurse named Carol, a wonderfully sharp woman who had spent 40 years caring for others. But she was a coffee-first person, through and through. She told me she couldn't function without it. She felt a permanent low-grade fog in her head until at least 10 in the morning. She'd get up, feel a little unsteady, and chalk it all up to getting older. "It's just the way it is now," she'd say. I invited her to try this simple morning ritual. Just one glass of warm lemon water before the coffee. She resisted at first. It felt like a chore, a delay to getting her real energy. But she promised to try for 1 week. The next time we spoke, there was a different light in her eyes. "Ted," she said, "it's the strangest thing. Around day 3, I realized that the fog was lifting before the coffee. The unsteadiness was gone. I feel clearer. My energy feels more stable now, less like a jittery rocket launch, and more like the sun rising. What Carol discovered is that this isn't just about quenching thirst. It is an act of deep listening. It is choosing to give your body what it is truly asking for before satisfying the craving of a habit. It is an act of profound kindness to yourself. You are telling your heart, you don't have to work so hard. You are telling your brain, here is the fluid you need to think clearly. You are telling your whole being, I will care for you today. This simple glass of water becomes a current of grace that flows through your entire day. When your body is in balance, your mind is calmer. Your patience is deeper. Your resilience is stronger. So I invite you to try this. Tonight, before you go to bed, place a glass, a lemon, and a small pitcher of water on your counter. Make the choice easy for your future self. Let it be the first gift you receive in the morning, offered from the person who knows you best, you. Begin your day not with a jolt, but with a gentle, healing flow. Because how you begin these first few moments sets the course for how you will navigate all the moments that are to come. Hello again. In our journey so far, we have learned to greet the day from the inside out. We have centered the spirit with the quiet power of the breath. We have honored the body with the life-giving gift of water. The inner river is stirring. The internal landscape is hydrated and ready, but the vessel itself, the magnificent structure of bone and muscle that carries you through the world, it is still slumbering. Think of your body as a house in the early dawn. With your breath and the water, you have turned on the lights and put the kettle on in the kitchen. But all the curtains are still drawn. The rooms are still filled with the stillness of the night. What do most of us do? We force the day upon this sleeping house. We fling open the front door and rush out into the world, dragging a body that is stiff, groggy, and unprepared. Have you ever felt that? That sensation in the first few minutes of the day, a feeling of being disconnected, as if your mind is awake, but your body is still a few paces behind. You feel the stiffness in your back, a creak in your knees. You might even feel a little unsteady on your feet. This isn't a sign of decay. It is a simple physical reality. During the long hours of sleep, your circulation slows to a gentle whisper. Gravity causes your blood and other fluids to settle and pool in the lowest parts of your body. It becomes like a calm pond where the water at the bottom is still and stagnant, to then suddenly demand that this body perform to stand and walk. And bend is a shock to the system. It's no wonder we feel stiff and foggy. We haven't yet invited the flow of life back into our limbs. The great masters of movement, from the Shaolin temples to the practitioners of Tai Chi, understood this principle deeply. They held a core belief. You do not attack the day. You align with it. Your first movements are not a workout. They are not an exercise. They are a conversation, a gentle tuning. Imagine your body as a beautiful, handcrafted cello that has been resting in its case all night. The strings have gone slack in the cool air. You wouldn't pick it up and immediately try to play a Bach sonata, would you? The sound would be awful, and you might even damage the instrument. No. The first thing a musician does is gently, lovingly turn each peg. They pluck each string, listening carefully. bringing it back into harmony. They tune the instrument before. They ask it to make music. This next step in our morning ritual is exactly that. It is the tuning of your instrument. It takes no more than 60 seconds, and it can be done right by your bedside. After your water, before you walk away, just stand, with your feet about shoulders width apart. Feel your connection to the floor. Now, as you take a slow breath in, just like we practiced, raise your arms out to the sides and up above your head. Don't strain. Just feel your lungs expand like sails catching the first morning breeze. Feel the gentle stretch in your sides. And as you exhale, let your arms float back down. Do this twice. You are telling your body, it is time to open. Next, place your hands on your hips and gently roll your shoulders back 5 times, opening up the chest. Then roll them forward 5 times, releasing the tension that gathers in our necks as we sleep. Then, ever so gently, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Pause. Then turn to look over your left. You are waking up the pathways of balance. Finally, hold onto the bed or a chair for support and slowly raise yourself up onto your heels and then lower back down. Do this 10 times. This simple motion is a powerful pump. It is sending all that settled, stagnant fluid from your legs back up into your body, delivering a fresh wave of oxygen-rich blood to your heart and, just as importantly, to your brain. This one small movement can do more to clear morning brain fog than you can possibly imagine. That's it. That is the entire symphony. It is simple. It is gentle. It is profound. I think of a man I knew, a retired librarian named Arthur. A dear man who loved his books more than anything. He told me he was starting to feel brittle. That was the word he used. He'd get out of bed in the morning feeling like an old, precious book whose spine had gone stiff. He was almost afraid to bend, for fear that something might crack. He started this simple 1-minute tuning. At first, he could barely raise his arms, but he persisted. He told me later, "Ted, it wasn't about the movement itself. It was about changing the message. Before I was telling my body, be careful, you're fragile. Now with every shoulder, roll, with every slow heel raise, I am telling it, good morning. We are a team. I trust you. I feel like I'm gently unfolding my own pages each morning, instead of being afraid to open the cover." Arthur's story shows us the true purpose of this practice. It's not about building bigger muscles. It is about building a better relationship with your body. It is an act of communication. It is a conscious decision to move through your day with grace and intention, starting with the very first movements you make. You have centered your spirit. You have hydrated your cells. Now you have awakened your form. You have tuned your instrument. The house is not just lit from within. The curtains have been opened. You are ready to step into the morning sun, not as someone dragging a sleepy, reluctant body behind them, but as a whole, integrated, and awakened being. You are ready to make music. We have traveled far on this quiet morning journey. We began in the stillness, finding our anchor in the breath. We nourished our inner rivers with the gift of warm water, and we gently awoke our physical form like a musician tuning their instrument. Before a performance, the body is awake. The circulation is stirring, but now we must go deeper. we must attend to the gatekeepers of our movement, the silent, miraculous hinges upon which our entire physical freedom rests, our joints. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt as though your world is slowly shrinking? Not the world outside, but the world of your own movement. Perhaps it's a hesitation before bending down to pick something up, a twinge in the knee that makes you reconsider taking the stairs, a stiffness in your neck that keeps you from quickly turning to a sound. It can feel as though an invisible wall is slowly closing in, limiting the simple, graceful movements that we once took completely for granted. This feeling, this creaking, grinding sensation of stiffness is not the same as simple muscle soreness. It has its own unique source, and understanding it is the key to reclaiming your freedom. Imagine every one of your joints, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders is a hinge on a beautiful handcrafted garden gate. Inside each of these hinges is a miraculous substance, a kind of biological oil called synovial fluid. Its job is to keep every movement smooth, silent, and effortless. When this fluid is warm and plentiful, the gate swings open with just a gentle touch. But overnight, as we lie still, this fluid becomes cool and thick. It turns from a fine oil into something more like cool molasses. This is why our joints feel so stiff and resistant in the morning. When we try to force that gate open without first warming the hinge, we get that creaking, grinding protest. We create friction, and over time that friction leads to inflammation, pain, and the very loss of freedom we fear. So what is the solution? We must become the gentle gatekeeper. We must lovingly oil the hinges before we ask them to swing wide. This next practice is perhaps the most direct act of care we can give to our aging bodies. It takes only 90 seconds, and it is an invitation to fluidity. Right after you've done your gentle awakening movements, while you're still sitting on the edge of your bed, start with your ankles. Lift one foot just off the floor and imagine you are drawing a slow, deliberate circle in the air with your big toe. Do this 10 times in one direction and then 10 times in the other. Feel the movement not in your foot, but deep inside the ankle joint. You are warming the hinge. You are gently churning that thick fluid, inviting it to become warm and liquid again. Then do the other ankle. Next, your knees. While still seated, gently extend and bend one leg a few times. Then stand up, holding onto a chair for balance, and gently rotate your hips as if you were using a slow-motion hula hoop. A few circles in each direction. You're not trying to be a dancer. You are simply telling your hips, I see you. I will care for you. Finally, the torso and shoulders. Stand tall and gently twist from side to side, looking over your shoulder. And then repeat the shoulder rolls we did earlier, but this time with more intention, feeling the ball and socket of the joint moving smoothly. You are bathing your joints in their own healing lubricant. I think of a woman I met named Maria. She had been a passionate gardener her whole life. She told me her joy came from having her hands in the earth. But arthritis in her knees and hips had begun to steal that joy. The simple act of kneeling down became a mountain of pain. Her world had shrunk to what she could reach from a chair. The idea of exercise was terrifying to her because it meant pain. When I shared this practice with her, I never once used the word exercise. I asked her if she would be willing to simply oil her hinges every morning. That change in language made all the difference. It wasn't a demand. It was an act of nurturing. She began just by rotating her ankles while drinking her tea. That was it. But that small victory, that pain-free movement, gave her courage. Soon she was doing the gentle knee bends, then the hip rotations. About a month later, she sent me a picture. It was a photo of a small, perfect red tomato, covered in morning dew, held in her hand. The caption read, "I knelt down to pick this myself today. The gate is opening." Maria's story is our story. This practice is not about becoming a gymnast. It is about preserving the sacred, ordinary movements of life. Mobility is independence. It is the freedom to bend down and tie your own shoes. The freedom to reach up to a high shelf for a photo album. The freedom to turn your head without hesitation to see a grandchild running toward you. When you oil your hinges, you are doing more than preventing pain. You are making a powerful statement. You are saying, "I will not allow my world to shrink. I will meet my body with kindness, not force. I will cultivate a life of ease and grace." You are losing the fear of movement, and in doing so, reclaiming the boundless territory of your own life. So tomorrow, after you've tuned your instrument, take that extra moment to be the gentle gatekeeper. In these small, deliberate circles, you will find a freedom that will carry you with balance and grace through all the steps of your day. We have accomplished so much in these few sacred minutes of the morning. We have found our center in the stillness of the breath. We have cleansed our inner rivers with the gift of water. We have tuned the instrument of the body with gentle movement. And we have oiled the hinges of our joints, preparing them for a day of graceful freedom. The temple has been prepared. The inner world is aligned. But our journey is not just an internal one. We are not designed to live as isolated beings. Our ancient self knows there is one more fundamental connection to be made, a step that takes us from our personal temple into the great, living cathedral of the world itself. So let me ask you a question that might sound strange at first. What if the most powerful anti-inflammatory, the most profound source of stability, the most effective balm for a restless spirit, is quite literally the ground beneath your feet? Think about the way we live now. From the moment we wake up, our feet touch carpet or wood. We put on socks and, most importantly, rubber-soled shoes. We live and work in insulated buildings, drive in insulated cars. We have, without even realizing it, almost completely severed our direct physical connection to the earth. Have you ever felt frazzled, ungrounded, a kind of static electricity in your soul, a feeling of being out of sync with everything? We often blame it on stress or a lack of sleep, but what if it's also a symptom of this profound disconnection? Our ancestors would find our way of life baffling. For nearly all of human history, we walked barefoot or in footwear made from natural animal hides. We slept on the ground. We were in constant, direct contact with the planet. They didn't need scientific studies to tell them what they knew in their bones, that the earth is not just dead dirt and rock. It is a living, breathing source of energy, and we are a part of it. Today, modern science is finally beginning to catch up to this ancient wisdom. They have given it a name, earthing or grounding, and what they're discovering is remarkable. They've found that the surface of the Earth has a constant, natural negative electrical charge fed by lightning strikes and the sun. Our bodies, on the other hand, especially in our modern world, tend to build up an excess of positive charge, which is associated with inflammation and the free radicals that contribute to aging and disease. Think of your body like a battery. Throughout the day, it can build up a kind of static, an electrical imbalance. Stepping barefoot on the ground is like plugging that battery into a universal grounding wire. It allows the excess, frantic energy to flow out, and in its place, you draw up the calm, steady, healing energy of the Earth. Those negative electrons from the Earth act like the most natural antioxidants imaginable. If inflammation is a small fire in your body, the Earth offers an endless supply of firefighters to help calm it down. The practice itself is the simplest one of all. It is the sacred step. After you have prepared your body and before the day truly begins, I invite you to step outside. If you have a lawn, a patch of soil, a garden, that is perfect. But even a stone patio or a concrete sidewalk will work. Take off your shoes and socks, and for just 1 minute, stand with your bare feet on the ground. That's it. You don't have to do anything. Your only task is to feel. Feel the coolness of the morning dew on the grass. Feel the slightly rough texture of the stone. Feel the solid, unwavering support of the planet beneath you, holding you up. Close your eyes and imagine any anxious, frantic energy flowing down through the soles of your feet and into the vastness of the Earth, where it can be neutralized, and imagine drawing up a calm, quiet strength in its place. I remember an old friend, David, a retired accountant who lived in the city. He was a man of numbers and logic, and he felt completely disconnected from the natural world. He told me he felt like a ghost in his own life. When I suggested this practice, he laughed. He said, "Ted, my neighbors will think I've lost my mind, standing barefoot on my tiny patch of grass like some kind of druid." But like many people who are quietly suffering, he was willing to try anything. He told me later about that first morning. He said the sensation of the cold, wet grass was such a shock to his system that it instantly silenced the usual chatter in his head. For that 1 minute, he wasn't thinking about his pension or the news or his health. He was just a man with his feet on the ground. He said it was the first time he'd felt truly real in years. It became his non-negotiable. It was his daily act of plugging back into life. This practice dissolves the illusion of separation. It is a powerful physical reminder that you are not just living on the Earth. You are the Earth. The iron in your blood and the calcium in your bones are the same iron and calcium found in the soil and the stones. You are a child of this planet, and when you stand on it, skin to skin, you are coming home. You are harmonizing your own small human rhythm with the great, unshakable rhythm of the world. So I invite you to overcome any feeling of strangeness and give yourself this gift. It asks for nothing but a minute of your time. Step outside. Take off your shoes and let the Earth remind you of who you truly are. A being of strength, stability, and quiet power, held securely by the world that gave you life. Of course, here is the final part of our morning journey, which brings together the last 3 pillars of the practice. My dear friend, we have arrived at the final steps of this sacred morning ritual. Together, we have journeyed through the quiet landscape of our own being. We learned to greet the day with the conscious breath, finding our center. We offered the body the gift of flowing water. We tuned our physical instrument with gentle movement, oiled the hinges of our joints for a day of freedom, and anchored our spirit by connecting with the great, steady energy of the earth. The temple has been cleansed, opened, and grounded. And now we stand at the threshold, ready to step into the world. These final practices are what ensure we do not just step, but thrive. They are about nourishing the temple, sharpening the mind, and setting the compass of the soul. The first of these final acts is one of profound physical wisdom, nourishing the temple. After a long night's fast, your body awakens in a state of deficit. It needs energy, and it has a very old, very primal way of getting it. If you do not provide it with fuel, it will begin to consume itself. It will start to break down your own precious muscle tissue to create the energy it needs to function. This process, a silent enemy of strength and vitality as we age, is a primary reason we can feel weaker year by year. So, within the first hour of waking, you must give your body clean, simple fuel. This is not about a heavy, complicated breakfast. That can come later. This is a specific offering to your muscles and your mind. It is a promise that you will provide so the body does not have to take. This offering should be centered on protein. Think of it as putting the first solid log on the fire, ensuring a steady, even burn of energy rather than the quick flash in the pan of sugars or starches. A few boiled eggs prepared the night before, a small bowl of yogurt, a simple, clean protein shake. It does not need to be heavy, it just needs to be there. This one act steadies your blood sugar, quiets cravings for the rest of the day, and gives your brain the amino acids it needs for focus and clarity. You are not just eating, you are consciously preserving the strength you will need for all the years to come. With the body nourished, we now turn to the mind. This is about sharpening the sword. If your thoughts are scattered, if your memory feels cloudy, if you feel anxious about your mental acuity, then the strength of your body means little. This next practice, for 1 minute, is a gentle whetstone for the mind. Before the noise of the radio, the television, or the day's concerns rush in, I invite you to sit in silence, close your eyes, and begin to remember yesterday. But here is the secret. Remember it in reverse. What did you eat for your dinner last night? Who did you speak with in the evening? What did you see on your journey home? What was the weather like in the afternoon? Gently, without strain, walk backwards through the corridors of the day that has just passed. This is not a memory test to be graded. There is no pass or fail. It is a profound practice of presence. You are gathering the threads of your own life. Neuroscientists have confirmed that this simple act of sequential recall builds something they call cognitive reserve. It's like building new pathways in the brain, creating a richer, more resilient mental map that can withstand the effects of time. You are signaling to your mind, I am awake, I am aware, I am still learning. Finally, we arrive at the capstone, the single most sacred act that gives meaning to all the others. This is setting the compass. You have nourished your body and sharpened your mind. Now you must orient your spirit. This begins with one of the most powerful forces in the universe, gratitude. Take a moment to feel, not just think, but truly feel gratitude for the simple, profound gift of this new day. gratitude for the breath in your lungs, for the heart beating in your chest, for the light that has returned once more. Gratitude is the fertile soil from which all joy grows. And from that place of gratitude, you set a single intention for the day. Now, an intention is not a goal. A goal is something to do. I need to finish the laundry. An intention is a quality of being. Today, I will move with patience. Today, I will listen with kindness. Today, I will look for beauty. A goal is a destination. An intention is the rudder on your ship. It guides how you navigate every moment, every interaction, every challenge the day might bring. It is your spiritual compass. When the winds of frustration blow, your intention of patience will keep you steady. When you encounter a difficult person, your intention of kindness will guide your words, and there you have it, the complete ritual. You awaken, and with your first breath, you find your center. You drink warm water, and you give your body the gift of flow. You perform your awakening movements, tuning your physical instrument. You practice mobility, oiling the hinges of your freedom. You step onto the earth, and you ground your energy. You give your body nourishment, preserving your strength. You practice recall, sharpening your mind, and with gratitude and intention, you set the compass for your soul. My dear friend, this entire sacred sequence takes perhaps 15 minutes. The world will tell you that you don't have time, but that is a lie. By giving yourself these first few minutes, you are not losing time. You are creating it. You are adding clarity, vitality, and peace to every hour that follows. You are choosing, with deliberate and gentle action, to live a life of strength and grace. You are not just surviving your years. You are thriving in them. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your mornings be a time of peace, and may all your days be blessed.